G is for gilt. Welcome back to the Politic Alphabet, where we become more politically literate by doing our British politics ABCs. I'm Matthew, I'm a political scientist, and in this series I give straightforward explanations of an A to Z of key British politics terms. Gilt is another word for a UK government bond. It's how the British government borrows money. When the government needs to pay for things that it can't afford with just the money it's bringing in from taxes, it needs to borrow to cover that spending and take on debt. One of the most common questions I get asked is, how do they do that and who do they borrow from? Well, they do it by issuing bonds or gilts. If you pay the government £100 for a gilt, the government can then use that £100 to cover a little tiny bit of its spending. The government will then pay you back that £100 at some specified point in the future. That's part of the package of the gilt itself. It's written into the bond. But why would you give the government £100 just to get it back again in a couple of years' time? Well, a gilt also comes with a coupon, a payment you will get each year, which functions like interest the government is paying you on the money you're lending it by buying the gilt. So here's an example. The government issues a gilt with a 2-year maturity and a 4% coupon. Someone pays £100 for that gilt, they're out of pocket £100. But each of the next 2 years, they receive £4. So over the course of the 2 years, they receive £8, and then they get their £100 back, so they get £108 back, where before they only had £100. But during that time, they were kind of out of pocket. The government was able to use that £100 of their capital to cover some of their spending. In practice, gilts have a range of maturity dates and different coupons, etc. But anyone can buy them, any investor, also pension funds and banks and even other governments. And gilts are also actively traded on a sort of second-hand market, kind of like stocks. The constant buying and selling of gilts determines the yield, which is a measure of the relationship between the gilt's current market price and its fixed coupon. The yield acts like a kind of benchmark, telling us how expensive it is for the government to take on debt. If you found this video informative, please give it a like and follow me so you stay up to date with the Politic Alphabet.